Hi Aquarius, and welcome to your energy reading for the week beginning the 17th of April 2017. We're going to do a couple of dice and then pull the cards relevant. So we have a 1 and a 3. So the 1 talks to the magician in the major arcana. The 1 talks about new beginnings. The 1 talks about having all the tools to do what you need to do in plans you have made. But it does talk of new beginnings. It talks of being competent in moving forward. The 1 can also talk to the first house in the zodiac, which is us, the way we present ourselves to the world, our attitudes and our temperament. So maybe that's something that we're looking at this week. The 3 can talk to the Empress, and the Empress talks to the planet of Venus. Venus is now going direct again, but it can also talk to the ultimate feminine, the mother, the nurturing side, the family environment, the authority, leadership values, which all could be in aspects this week we're looking at. 3 also talks of growth and expansion. So we could be looking at growing an idea or expanding a business, something like that this week. The 3rd house is ruled by Gemini. There could be a Gemini around us at the minute. And it talks of communications, travel, transportation, neighbours, siblings and self-expression. So again, the areas could be what we're looking at. When we combine the dice, we come to the 4. Now the 4 talks of the Emperor. So we have a couple here, the Empress in the 3 and the Emperor in the 4. So it could be about partnerships. And if that's the case, it's a very good partnership. These are a couple that are meant to be together and will complement each other very much so. The 4 talks about Aries energy. Well, we're just leaving Aries energy this week. On Wednesday, we move over into the earthly energy of Taurus. So Aries is still the passion and the fire. So maybe there is a passionate meeting with someone this week. The Emperor does talk of the masculine and the Empress of the feminine. So maybe it's a blending of these 2 energies to come to a good outcome on a pursuit this week. The 4th house is ruled by Cancer, and that's about our home, our family, our property, our roots, our inner emotions. It can talk of short trips, and it can talk of studies. It talks about our immediate surroundings, our siblings and our mother. So again, any of them areas may be relevant. So on to draw the cards. Can I have the first card for the first die, please? I want the first card for the first die, please. And we have the card of Justice. Now I have a tale to tell on justice. If you watched the intro videos I do, it will be explained there, but if you didn't, I still do them within the readings when they do come up. In this tarot deck, when I purchased it, I realised that a couple of the cards were placed in different positions, and a couple of misinterpretations in the deck, which is ironic actually, because my Mythic Tarot, the first ever tarot cards I fell in love with and I knew I needed in my life back in the 80s. I purchased them and there was exactly the same. There was errors in the placement of cards and some interpretations weren't right. Consequently, it was removed from print more or less straight away. I do believe it's been looked at and reprinted since, but I've never looked at it. And the very next deck that I've accumulated decks over the years since, but nothing that pulled me again like that Mythic Tarot until I found this Oceanic Tarot, and I thought, that's it, I need that. only to find out again it was a mix-up in interpretations on a couple of the cards. But I can work around them, and I often laugh and think, well, that shows that I like the black sheep of the family, you know. Anyone else probably wouldn't want to work with them because of these discrepancies, but I find it quite easy, and I'll just give both interpretations rather than shy away from using the cards. So for the second die, we want the third card, and that's the Four of Cups. Now the Four of Cups talks about boredom and dissatisfaction. Justice talks about something being legal and just, but justice can actually, because it's the one that is numbered wrong in this deck, and I shouldn't say that, it's not numbered wrong. It's been given position 8 in this deck rather than 11 like in regular tarot, and position 8 has been given the 11th place, but position 8 talks of the strength card, and that's about having inner strength and wisdom that brute force and ignorance don't actually work all the time. Sometimes we need to have patience, kindness to win through a situation. Though justice can say the same. If we have a good balance, clear communication, we use our intuition correctly and speak our truths, we should come out to the same scenario with more chance of getting to the outcome we want than brute force and ignorance. So can we have the fourth card for the combination of die, please? So the connection card to the 2. And we have the Moon. So we have a beginning. It could be a new beginning on a way we think, a new beginning in a belief system, a new beginning in a way of thinking is diving out at me there. She's holding the scales of mercy and the sword of retribution here, symbolising fair judgment. Justice does bring strength, which she's flipped with the strength card in the positioning here. And she talks of putting right wrongdoings, healing past hurt, and restoring balance in a situation. We see clarity and integrity in this card. A decision will be made, and it will be to your favour if you have been just in the situation. If there's legal situations around it at the minute, but it could be within a relationship or surrounding family matters too. It's a card that you find healing and then closure with. Usually when we are waiting for a decision, you know, it'll either make us very happy or it'll upset us, but we know where we are, so we can move on to something else. It talks about taking a practical approach to things, and if you have got to make a decision, go with the realistic rather than idealistic solution. The solution doesn't need to be perfect, just workable. And if the decision you're making affects others as well as yourself, try and make it the best for everybody concerned. Now, as I say, if that card came out more for the numbering, we are looking at the strength card. And the strength card talks about our courage, patience, endurance, taking a risk, but a balanced, calculated risk, realising the opposition, giving credit to the opposition that we're facing, but having some vitality and stability about us at this time. It talks about standing firm, but being calm and taking the higher moral ground. When the Strength card appears, it does talk about a test being offered. This challenge is here because it's a test of your character. And you need resilience and patience to withstand it. We've not got to panic at this time or compromise. If the compromise doesn't feel right, don't do it. If there are conflicts around it, have patience and stand your ground. Do not be overwhelmed by the situation. It could be your own fear and guilt. That's the thing we're contemplating at the moment with this card. And it can show, if we've had a time of not being well, it can show physical strength and a rejuvenation of physical strength. So justice, strength in the first position, and a new beginning in these areas. Then we have the chance of growth and expansion. But that's sat on the Four of Cups, and it's a card about boredom and dissatisfaction. Emotionally not feeling fulfilled. In the original tarot, we see it focused on 3 cups and not even seeing the 4th cup being offered. So we could be missing something here. We could be missing an emotional attachment somewhere that would actually be quite beneficial. Or because we're not seeing it, we're sat in boredom and dissatisfaction because there's nothing new inspiring us. It doesn't have to be love. It could be in any relationship. But we're feeling a bit bored. Maybe we're realising it's time now to take a chance on something or move something on a little bit more. We could be retreating into ourselves at this time, and we don't want to. We should be reaching out for what we want and what we need. It talks about looking for inspiration, renewing your faith in life, that it can bring what you need. It's a card of stagnation, despondency, delusion, self-protection, a need for change, stubbornness and rigidity. So maybe these parts of our persona are where we've got to grow. Maybe it's the stubbornness. Maybe we are a bit too stubborn in situations and don't realise that is what brings us to the boredom and dissatisfaction. I did just realise that when we pulled the Justice can talk to a Libra. There could be a Libran around us at the minute. And when it's flipped to the Strength card, the Strength card talks to a Leo. So there could be a Leo. So a Libra and another air sign around you at the minute, Aquarius, but a Leo fire sign could be around us too. And then these are connected by the moon. Now the moon card talks to all water signs, Pisces, Scorpio or Cancer. But it does talk to the fears. Sometimes the fear, our own fears, stop us from moving forward and staying in the dark about situations. It talks of a lot of things look fantastic in the moonlight, but when the daylight illuminates and shows the real truth, things aren't as they seem or as they should seem. The moon talks about illusions, it talks about secrets, it talks about situations or relationships that may seem appealing under the romantic light of the moon, but can they stand the test of time when they're out in the sunshine? It's about having enough faith We are represented by the crayfish here, and there's two sea lions either side are our fears. Have we got enough faith to go past our fears and get to the answers that we need, the enlightenment that we need? It does talk of pay attention to intuition. Our intuition knows the answers of how to move forward in this situation, and it's no good to rely on an intellectual, logical approach to a problem. There are things hidden, there's unknown quantities around. It talks of the unconscious, our doubts, our decisions, dilemmas, sadness, and the past, and fear. So we have to face a fear at some point. And if we are ruled by our fears, excuse me, and don't move forward, Aquarius, that's why we are stuck, stagnant in boredom and dissatisfaction. To grow and get past this feeling of boredom and dissatisfaction, we have to face our fears. We have to go inside and ask the questions that we don't want answered and accept the answers that come. As I say, the moon card can talk to any water sign. There could be a Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer involved, and there could be a Libra, there could be a Leo. It's not really giving any situation as such that we could pull on. Maybe it's just a time of balancing out our thoughts and our plans this week. The 3 cards we've been given as an overall energy is the 6 of Pentacles reversed. Now the 6 of Pentacles talks about equal giving and taking. Sixes talk about harmony and balance. So lack of balance, a lack of, maybe someone's giving us a little bit too much and we're not giving enough back, or we've been given and we're not getting enough back. We're not getting the equal flow of energy. That's causing conflicts and boredom and dissatisfaction. We've come straight back to the 4 of Cups. So are we getting to the bottom and finding the truth and facing our fears? Getting balanced, grounded and logical, and speaking our truth about a situation where it's unequal give and take. There's not the same flow of energy between the two parties in the situation. It's still not giving me if it's love or if it's career. If I was to take a stab at any, I would say love, because we've got the 4 of Chalices twice. But apart from that, we've got 1 Swords, 1 Pentacle, and the other's a Major Arcana. So I would have said this is an unbalance in something that is in your environment. It's not something you're wishing to bring in. It's something that's already in the environment and you've been giving time and energy to it, and you either haven't been getting the same time and energy back, or somebody's been giving you more time and energy to a situation and you haven't been putting in the same. But that unequal balance of energy leads to conflicts, and conflicts lead right here to the 4 of Cups. Boredom and dissatisfaction. So with that, I would say them 3 cards I've just given us clarification of how we've come to the boredom and dissatisfaction. And if someone hasn't been right in the energies and participating right in a situation that you're going through at the minute, and probably something that there's a lot of secrets around, or you're not feeling like you're not being told the whole truth, or you've got to face your fears to push through and make a situation right. They will come right and just. And it's not pushing through forcefully. Take heed of the strength replacement where justice could be. That being patient, kind, caring and considerate would be the way to push through what's hidden in this situation and get to the root of it, to move away from this boredom and satisfaction. And with that said, Aquarius, I think that's us leaving it for this week. And I hope this does help you with the energies that we face. I hope you have a great week, and hopefully we'll speak again next week. Take care. Bye.